Lillie Langtry Stakes over 1 3/4 miles. Ready. And they're away. Oh, and Royal Entry has missed the break very badly indeed there. A lot of time to make up the ground, but must have forfeited 8 or 10 lengths behind the early leaders, which are Alonzi and Goody Two Shoes, and Serenity Prayer towards the outside in the blue sleeves, followed by Danielle in a red cap. Last year's winner, Term of Endearment, is near the running rail in the dark green with the white checks on the sleeves, followed by Waardah and then Sueno, and the slow starting Royal Entry has caught up some of the deficit as they run round the right-hander at the bottom end of the course, round Oak Tree Corner. And Alonzi taking them along from Serenity Prayer in second. Goody Two Shoes is third, and then Danielle on the outside. Term of Endearment is close up on the inside, seeking to give William Haggis a treble in the first 3 races here today. Waardah is back behind those from Sueno, and then finally Royal Entry in the hands of Colin Keane. Swinging into the back straight, and Alonzi pressing on a little from Serenity Prayer, then Goody Two Shoes and Danielle. Term of Endearment in close touch then, followed by in the next position by Waardah, a couple of lengths behind Term of Endearment, who's just beginning to race strongly at this point of the race. And then Royal Entry making a bit of ground with Sueno on her outside. They're a little bit better group than they were, and Alonzi continues to take them along, swinging along in the lead from Serenity Prayer second, Goody Two Shoes in third. Then Danielle in fourth in this comeback run, followed by Term of Endearment on the inside, Waardah, Royal Entry, and still last is Sueno. Meeting the rising ground as they approach the final 6 furlongs. And Alonzi still out in front in the hands of Ross O'Ryan. Shadowed in second by Ryan Moore on Serenity Prayer. Goody Two Shoes is next in third, followed by Danielle, then Term of Endearment, then Waardah, then Royal Entry, and finally Sueno swinging the right-hander, and Alonzi has the advantage and maybe handled the bend slightly better than Serenity Prayer, went slightly wide there. Running down the hill towards the next little right-hander as they make their way back towards the grandstand. Alonzi from Serenity Prayer, half length between them. Goody Two Shoes is just behind these now, beginning a run down the outside, looking to the right. Danielle in the red cap, yellow jacket of Waardah. Sueno tries to pick up as they run down the straight. Term of Endearment will need to find a way through. She's behind 4 fillies there towards the centre as they race on towards the final 2 furlongs or so. Open race, Goody Two Shoes, Danielle, Waardah taking off down the outside in the yellow jacket under Callum Rodriguez, takes it up. Term of Endearment now into the clear, but she's got 3 or 4 lengths to make up. Waardah battling back is Danielle, then Goody Two Shoes and Term of Endearment and Royal Entry. Waardah and Danielle having a right old tussle. It's Waardah near side. Danielle is nothing if not game, trying all the way, but Waardah is just too strong and wins the Lillie Langtry from Danielle in a fine battle. Tight for third then between Goody Two Shoes and Term of Endearment, and they were followed home by Royal Entry.
Well, she had to stay, and stay she did, because Danielle was a persistent challenger. Waardah has seen her off for Callum Rodriguez and Owen Burrows. Danielle second for James Doyle and the Gosdens, and they're a long way clear of a close call for third. Looking like it was just Goody Two Shoes, but we'll get confirmation from the judge. Term of Endearment has rushed her up in the closing stages. Waardah returned at 7-2, James. You and Meg were both keen on this filly. She had a stamina to prove. She really did have to stay it in the end. Yeah, but I think she might be better at 12 furlongs going forward. I think the strongest stayer was second, Danielle. What a nice turn of foot she showed, probably from the 3 to the 2, to look as though the race was going to be put to bed. At the start, as usual, Royal Entry is slow to stride, but yeah, and mares sometimes they get into that habit, and it does get worse with each start. They haven't gone very quick as we expected, and it actually meant what I was slightly further back than I was hoping, because Tom Marquand really took a pull, didn't want to be leading on Terms of Endearment. Goody Two Shoes also took back, and it meant they actually came from the outside on top of her. She was sat in 6th when I thought she'd probably be in 3rd or 4th. She's done well to zoom past Danielle, and just that final furlong I thought, oh, maybe she's going to get outstayed here, but I think 12 back to 1.5 miles potentially. The way she's travelled so much better than the other proper staying fillies, it just suggests she's a class above the rest.
No, I totally agree. Obviously a 3-year-old as well up against her elders, and you know, she's clearly got bundles of talent. I agree with you in the respect of dropping her back to the mile and a half, albeit if it was really, you know, well, actually she probably wouldn't run if it was really quick run. She clearly likes to get her toe in. That is probably important to her. But is it a combination of possibly Danielle's blown up a little bit on her seasonal reappearance? Obviously, Waardah's had to be tough, and she did pull away again at the line, but I just think Danielle has run a cracker in defeat, possibly just got a little bit tired late on. But I think we've got a real talented 3-year-old here for Owen Burrows, and a good ride from Callum Rodriguez.
Well, alongside me is Owen Burrows, another fine performance from Waardah. She continues to progress. What did you make of her performance today? What did you think of the trip and the conditions for her?
Yeah, look, I thought she handled it all very well. Callum said she switched off great, and in hindsight, he said he probably got there a little bit soon. But we're still learning about her because obviously she's inexperienced. But I thought she was very honest. When the second horse come to her, I thought she was going to possibly get outstayed. But probably the last half of furlong she was going away again, wasn't she? But yeah, look, I think she'd have no trouble going back to a mile and a half. So yeah, she's an exciting filly.
We saw obviously last year she showed potential. What sort of filly did you see her as this season?
Look, she's always been, always shown up well at home. It was no surprise she won first time up, even though it was a four-runner race. We stepped her up straight into listed class then, so that shows that we were seeing the right signs at home. Didn't really handle Newmarket back then. And early on in the spring, I keep bleating on about it, but you can never get on the grass to get some good work into them. And she was a bit keen, massively. Like it's. Look, if you haven't got a grass gallop, then you don't have that option. But when you do, there's quite a lot of us who like to use them, and that's what I was taught on. So yeah, she was been a bit keen at home, etc. That's why I ran her sort of over a mile first time. Yeah. Just needed to get that little bit of a buzz out of her. But again, I felt she'd come forward from Goodwood. Work at home had been very good. So, we thought we'd roll the dice, and thankfully it's come off.
2 today, rolling the dice to something better next.
Well, look, she's in the Yorkshire Oaks. I think it is important she gets a little bit of juice in the ground. So look, we'll see how she comes out of this. But obviously Ascot in October would suit her. Yeah. So yeah, nice problems to have.
Nice problems indeed. Very smart filly. Well done.
Thanks, Richie. Thank you.
Thanks. Well, it was a smart performance from our winner at Waardah. Callum Rodriguez was the man on board. Callum, what were your impressions of this filly and the way she performed in the conditions today?
Yeah, she was she took a good improvement last time, and I thought she was quite impressive doing what she did. She was strong through the line, and we were fairly hopeful stepping up in trip that she'd be fine. Conditions were good, and obviously she likes this place, so we were fairly confident. But no, very pleased with her.
Do you think mile 6 is her trip, or would she be better over 2 furlongs shorter?
She stays well, obviously. She relaxes good. She's got a turn of foot. Coming back in trip would be no problem, but she's equally as effective at this trip, obviously.
Tell me about the way the race unfolded, because obviously you've ended up coming pretty wide to challenge, and people often look at that and say you see plenty of daylight, etc. But she seemed to do it all within herself.
Yeah, I was just saying to Owen afterwards, I was kind of kicking myself between the 3 and the 2, because she shut down and relaxed very well today. I didn't think we were going overly quick, and I just wanted it to be there for me when we did get racing. And so when we straightened up, I showed her a bit of daylight and just moved her up a gear, and she came there quickly. She actually made up a lot of ground in the middle part of the straight, and I was a little bit worried that I'd sort of got her rolling a bit too early, but she was only idling in front, and when the other horse really challenged her late on, she found another gear. So no, it was a good performance, and we're really pleased with her.
So would it be fair to say she's still a little bit green?
I would hope that there could be a little bit of improvement still to come, and just being able to ride her that bit more confidently maybe next time, knowing that there's the horse there when I need her to be. I think I learnt a bit about her today, so very pleased.
Cheers, Callum, well done.
Thank you.
Watch live racing now on racingtv.com.